Assalamu alaikum. Again, my name is Mike Brown. I'm a pastor at Zor Lutheran in Perrysburg, and it's a great honor to be here with you today. I'm deeply humbled and glad to join you in this great celebration of the birth of the Prophet Mohammed, peace be upon him. I want to ask for your forgiveness in advance if I misspeak or am in error. This is my first chance to speak to such a fantastic, wonderful assembly of Muslims. So please bear with me. The topic that I was given to speak about is the significance of the birth of the Prophet, peace be upon him, for followers of other religions. And as I thought about this topic, one word, one phrase kept coming to me. And that phrase was a new beginning. A new beginning is what the celebration of the birth of the Prophet, peace be upon him, should mean to us, because the birth of a child is, of course, a new beginning. Whether you have one child or 15 children, each child is a new birth, a new experience. It's a new beginning. And certainly, the birth of the Prophet, peace be upon him, is certainly a new beginning for his family, for those who raised him. It was a new beginning for the entire region, and it became a new beginning for the entire world. As you think about the birth of the Prophet, peace be upon him, I want us to think about the new beginning that comes to us in this great gift. And to sort of capture that, I want us to listen and to hear the words of the prophet as he wrote them to a group of Christians at St. Catherine's Monastery in the year 628. It was a time when Islam was sweeping across the country, spreading and liberating people and bringing people to Allah. And there was a group of Christians in a monastery, St. Catherine's, the oldest and most historic monastery among the Christian monasteries. It's rich with manuscripts, has the largest library outside of Rome for Christians, and the residents of this monastery, which is at the base of Mount Sinai, were concerned, they were curious, they were afraid for their future. And so they sent word, they met with the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to inquire about their future and about how he might help. And so he wrote a covenant with this monastery. And these are the words. He said, "This is a message from Muhammad as a covenant to those who adopt Christianity, near and far. We are with them. Verily, I, the servants, the helpers, and my followers defend them, because Christians are my citizens. And by Allah, I hold out against anything that displeases them. No compulsion is to be upon them. Neither are their judges to be removed from their jobs, nor their monks from their monasteries. No one is to destroy a house of their religion, to damage it, or to carry anything from it to the Muslims' houses. Should anyone take any of these, he would spoil God's covenant and disobey his prophet. Verily, they are my allies and have my secure charter against all that they hate. No one is to force them to travel or to oblige them to fight. The Muslims are to fight for them. If a female Christian is married to a Muslim, it is not to take place without her approval. She is not to be prevented from visiting her church to pray. Their churches are to be respected. They are neither to be prevented from repairing them, nor the sacredness of their covenants. No one of them, no one of the nation is to disobey the covenant till the last day of the end of the world." There are some very exciting ideas in this covenant that the prophet, peace be upon him, made to this monastery in ways that help us to imagine a new beginning in our own day. the words, the life, the example of the prophet help us today conceive and imagine a new future for ourselves and for our world. There are three major, powerful avenues forward from the prophet's words. And the first of these is the word camaraderie. The idea that as we gather and share a meal and share stories and shake hands and bless each other in the name of Allah, as we gather together to learn each other's names, we share and we discover each other's humanity. As we gather together in fellowship, drinking coffee and pop and water and having a meal together and learning each other's backgrounds, we have camaraderie and we discover the beauty of the humanity of each other. A second powerful way forward for us to discover a new future and find a new beginning from the words of the prophet, peace be upon him, is the word solidarity. That should have jumped off the pages at us, because he says things like, near and far, we are with them. He says, verily, I, my servants, the helpers, and my followers, we defend them. He says, they are my allies. He says that the Muslims are to fight for them. He calls us to stand with each other, to defend each other from the meanness and the hatred of the world. There is meanness and hatred in the world. Am I right? I mean, there is evil intent, and there are radicals and violent sorts all around the world. And there are people who would love to destroy Islam. And there are people who would love to wipe out Christianity. And so the prophet, peace be upon him, calls us to link arm in arm and stand together to protect each other, to defend each other against words of hate, and to defend each other against actions of violence. I've seen it in the news over the last 15, 20 years about moments in time when there were Christians in a Muslim majority country that were trying to worship over Christmas and have Christmas celebrations, and they were under threat. And so there were hundreds and thousands of Muslims that would gather together and encircle the church arm in arm and form a human chain, a human fence, to defend them, to protect them from the actions of violent radicals. And that too has also happened with mosques in different parts of the world in Christian majority nations, where people were anti-Muslim and Christians by the hundreds and thousands gathered around the mosque, linked arm in arm to defend, to protect the Muslims inside. This is what the prophet is calling us to envision, a way forward that we can start a new beginning with our solidarity together. We are not enemies. We are citizens of a common humanity created by the same Allah. A third powerful way forward for us to conceive is through the word hospitality. And the hospitality that the prophet, praise be upon him, has lifted before us is not simply sharing a good meal and sharing some tea. That's wonderful. But the hospitality that